Buongiorno from Italy, actually from Sicily.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so buongiorno, everyone. Hi, I'm Katie, the founder of Untold Italy, and we are like a modern travel company that helps you plan your dream trips to Italy. And with me today, I have my lovely friend coming in all the way from Sicily, Denyse Pantaleo from Devour Tours. Now, Denyse and I we met a few years ago, didn't we? And you took me on a food tour in Rome, and it was so much fun. And we had the best time. I went with my family. And what we wanted to do today was share a little bit about what people can expect on a food tour, what they might like, and what, if they've never been on one, what they can expect. Because I think people hear, oh, food tour, I should go on one. But I think there are a lot of different reasons to go on one, but I think there's some excellent tasting reasons, and there's some excellent cultural reasons and other things. So, Denyse, why don't you kick us off and have a little bit of an idea about what we can expect on a food tour. And I'm just going to keep an eye on the comments and see if there are any other comments that come through. But if anyone has joined us now, I can see there's a few people online. Can you give us a shout out and let us know where you're coming in from? We'd love to know. Okay, Denyse, over to you. Why should we do a food tour when we're in Italy?
That's a food tour can be a lot of things. So when you travel to Italy, probably food is on top of your bucket list. So everyone has at least in the top three some tasting you want to have in Italy, but there's another long list of things that you might not know, and this is what we are covering. So of course, everyone wants to taste a amazing amatriciano, carbonara, cacio e pepe in Rome. But there are other things a little bit more unexpected that you need to taste. So what a food tour wants to do is to deep dive into the culture and, of course, giving you the best carbonara you can have, because there's nothing worse than traveling to Rome and then leave Rome and say, yes, I had a carbonara, but it was really average. So it didn't meet my expectation. No, carbonara has to be the experience in Rome, or the amatriciano or cacio e pepe. And in between, we have a lot of other tastings that we include in our food tours that have to really shock you sometimes, because food can even shock you, like, oh, I never thought I could eat an artichoke, and actually fried artichoke is amazing. So for example, so this is one aspect of food tours, but it's much more. So, of course, nowadays everyone can have access of a list of tastings that you can have in Rome. Everything can be found about the best places too, but it's also about the timing you're having those, the right time in the day, the when something is coming after something. So that makes sense in a progression of tastings. And everything is linked by an amazing storyteller that really connect all the dots together. And the other thing is that food tours connect you to the vendors. So vendors are not people that are just selling something. They have an history. They've been around, or their family can be around for 7 generations.
Oh, we seem to have lost Denyse. Whoop. Oh no, we've lost Denyse. While we're seeing if she can come back on, I'm going to actually see if I can show you some photos of the food that we've eaten over the years. So hang on, Denyse. I'll also actually say hello. So Olivia, welcome to our live stream from Naples. Amazing. Thanks for joining us. And I can see Mary, who I know is in Rome. Ciao. Here she is, back from Sicily. Got to had a few few issues in Sicily. I'm just going to try something, Denyse, because I had got some. See if we can do this. Oh, here we go. Here's some food that we
Oh,
tried. All right, so I'm going to pop up some photos of food so we can see them. But I'll pop you back in live, Denyse. Now we've got you, and I'll show food as it comes up. Oh, there we go. There we go.
yeah.
Off you
Yeah.
go,
Now you
as you
were
were.
sharing all this food and I'm confused and I'm hungry.
Well, you showed it to me first, so yeah. So what we were talking about is that yeah, you can get a list of foods that you can try, but you don't get the same. Maybe you go to the shop and you try it yourself, but you may not get the whole history or the story behind the food and what's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So, the way you're tasting something can make much more sense if you have a context, an historical context or social context of why we are eating something in a specific moment of the day. So, I got this feedback from many people. Oh, you Italians have a lot of rules around food and you're so strict and these and that. Yes, probably looks like that, but we came out with all these rules because eating for us is a ritual. It's something that every bite makes sense in a specific moment of the day and in a progression of other things we're eating. So since the moment we wake up in the morning and we put our mocha, our coffee pot on the stove, until the last bite we have in the night, everything makes sense for us. So if you step in a pizzeria al taglio and you just get random pizza without understanding the context of this is the typical merenda for children after school, and it's it can be a snack, can be a lunch. So there's so many information behind one taste that makes sense that you have a local that is really leading you through that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the most important things about food in Italy is it is so localized. And so you can go on a food tour in Rome and you can try some things, and then you can go to a food tour in Venice, where Denyse is originally from, and it will be completely different. So I have got some shots from our food tour that we did with Denyse a few years ago
You
now. Was it?
do?
Yeah, yeah, like check it out. Like this is going to be fun. Here we go.
Oh, wow.
There's my son there, and also we're hiding some an artichoke there, and my son is eating a supli, a telefono. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that, Denise?
Wow. Supplé is my favorite bite street food in Rome, definitely. It's a rice croquet with it can be either vegetarian, but most of the time is a meat sauce. Kind of a ragu, but it's not really a ragu, if we want to be very specific. And there's a bite of gooey mozzarella in the middle, so basically, and then is the breaded and deep fried. You even with the suppli, you can have so many different experiences. Every Roman has their favorite place. Some Romans like more mozzarella, less mozzarella. We talk about the breading and how it's fried. So every detail of this rice croquet makes sense and it has to be perfect. It's that combination of crunchiness on the outside and soft and saucy. Can we say saucy? I don't know.
I think it's so saucy.
And then you have that surprise, the suppli that comes from the French word surprise, of the mozzarella in the middle. So suppli can be a lot of things for the Romans. It can be the entree when you're eating pizza. So before ordering your pizza, you have this plate of different fried things, including the suppli. Can be a mid-afternoon snack or mid-morning, why not? Can replace a meal for lunch if you're on the go. Can be your treat. And honestly, for me, is one of the first things I want when I'm traveling and I am like away for a couple of weeks from Rome. The first things I want is a suppli.
But you got to get the suppli from the right place, though, don't you? So, you have to find
Yeah.
the right place. And so there's suppli everywhere because they usually sell it with some if you go to a pizza place, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it can be on the go and it can be in a pizzeria.
Mm,
It can be eaten in many different ways.
yeah.
You can have very depressing experiences in Rome also. So one of the questions I have is, can you have amazing food everywhere in Rome? No. You need to know where you're going. Sometimes I also get the feedback, I'm sorry, I'm on this food tour, and this is the first time I'm having very good food because in the last 2 days I had very bad experiences in Rome, which is true.
Mm, mm-hmm. It happens. Sad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do hear that quite a lot. And one of the other things that I really loved when I went on that food tour with you a few years ago in Rome, where these photos are taken, was that there's a lot of advice going on social media as well about food. And food rules and things like that. And one of them, my favorite ones, is to never go into a gelato shop where there's a big sign of a
Hmm.
colorful gelato cone out the front and it looks maybe a little bit tacky. And then Denyse on this food tour, she took us straight to one of these gelateria and I was like, wait a minute, where are we going? And oh my goodness, it was amazing, this
I
gelateria.
know. I know, because now you have these two parallel things are happening in the world of food. You have the rules of social media, which theoretically are right, but it's full of exceptions. So this tackiness sometimes it's sign of a real place. So
Mm,
gelateria were tacky in the 90s. Everything was very tacky, and even in the 80s. So if you find a place that looks a little bit old school and a bit tacky, maybe it's a good place. So that's
uh-huh.
exactly, I wanted to shock you in the food tour. Like, I knew that you, Katie, you knew the rule of a good gelateria, and you probably wouldn't have stepped in that one. But the
Yeah.
family was behind the counter, is run, of course, by a family. The gelato is artisanal. It's just the look, the aesthetic of the place that is not aesthetic.
Yeah. Yes, and it's not everything, is it? It's really not. So, and I've been lucky to go on quite a few of the Devour tours. I now count them. So another one that I wanted to show people just to get a different, I guess, view of what was you can taste when in different parts of Italy. Well, this one again, I was with Denyse on this one, and this was
Mhm.
in Bologna. Okay.
Yes.
And we didn't try those artichokes, but I wanted to show what they look like because they are simply amazing. And we did actually see those ones when we were in the market in Bologna. But what I love
Yeah.
about Italy is that everything's so different. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's true. And also, most of our tours go to markets, and you get to visit, and what we tend to do is to adapt to the season. So if you take, for example, our Testaccio tour in Rome that goes to the market, and you take it in April, it doesn't have the same colors in fall. So you're
Mm.
gonna see different vegetables. We're gonna talk about other things because we do other things in October, for example.
Yeah, it's delicious. And in this tour, what I loved is we got in the market, you got to see them making the pasta. And if you ever see these ladies making pasta, they're so fast. Like because you can also go and try and make it yourself. And it is a real skill to do it quickly. And they make it fast and they make it very consistently. And then you taste it and it tastes consistently amazing. So,
Yeah.
you just think, wow, these people are incredible. And another thing that you can do, which I know Devour offer, is that you can actually learn how to cook this pasta. Maybe not this one, because this one is specifically from Bologna, but I
Yes.
know with Devour you can get a new appreciation, especially with the things that maybe you're not used to making at home, like a gnocchi or things like that, that maybe take a little bit more skill and experience. And once you have tried making it for yourself, you appreciate it even more.
Yeah, I mean, if you come back from a trip to Italy and instead of forcing your friends to look at 1,000 photos on your phone, like, hey, look, I've been here and there. And yeah, after like 3 minutes, it's like, okay, I know you had the best trip in Italy. I'm jealous. You made me jealous. But instead of that, you're cooking a meal for them. So it's like I learned making gnocchi in Rome, and I invite you to a dinner where I'm gonna cook you something. It's much better.
Yeah, exactly. So Mary did the food tour the food cooking class for gnocchi and tiramisu in Rome, and she loved it. So just popped her comments
Yeah,
up. Um,
happy.
so maybe we can go on to, like, I just wanted to show some people just the different types of food, because on this one in Bologna we tasted the ragu as well, the bolognese, of course, in Bologna, and we taste this torta ariso, which is the rice
Yeah,
cake. I've got the picture
yeah.
there. So you don't get that in Rome. So if you want to go try
No.
that one, you need to go to Bologna.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes,
Let me see
definitely.
what else I've got here. Oh, I know this is my favorite because Denyse
That's Venice.
is for Venice, yeah. And so the best things are there are cicchetti, and maybe Denyse, tell people why they shouldn't call it tapas.
Yeah, I mean, tapas, it's like supplì and arancino. Arancino is much more famous. So the Cicchetti suffers of having this Spanish cousin that is more popular, more known. But the Cicchetti are so I grew up in that area, and basically, when I was a teenager, I didn't have a lot of money, so I was spending entire night eating on cicchetti, just going from one place to another and tasting different. Can we say nibbles, like little tasting of something? So you have
Yeah.
little fried things, croquettes, and bread with different toppings on top. Every place in Venice is famous for something, so you're gonna have this and only that, and
Mm,
you go. To one specific place because you know they make that so good. Of course, there is wine with that always. You can have the ombra, that is a specific size of wine, of glass. You can have your prosecco. You can have your spritz. We can talk about spritz in Venice for hours. The spritz I like in Venice is the white spritz, so the original one that is just wine and sparkling water and soda. Um, I'm not a big fan of Aperol, for example, too sweet,
too
but I
sweet.
love Select.
Yeah, I love Select too.
Yeah.
It's hard to
In
get. It's hard to get here in Australia, let me tell you. But if I see
Is
it,
it?
I jump.
I'm gonna send you some. I don't know if I can.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Well, this is making me very hungry because it's nearly dinner time here in Australia. So I'm going to turn that food off. Uh, so maybe it'd be really good, Denyse, if you can share with everyone what are some things that maybe people generally ask, like some FAQ around food tours, because I think that perhaps people might be thinking, oh, well, when I go on a food tour, what if I have a food allergy, for example?
So, of course, we're ready to cover as much as we can. We have options for vegetarian, for vegans, lactose intolerance. It's a bit complicated for gluten free. Uh, it's a country based on carbs, and it's complicated to replace it. But I have to say that in the big cities like Rome, we start having more options and we start getting more sensitive to that. But yes, there's always one option. And also, probably Italy is seen as a country that is very meat and cheese, but we do have a lot of vegetarian options. So we try to accommodate,
Mhm.
and we have options in, so it's pretty inclusive for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, no, that's excellent. What about kids going on? I just showed a picture of my son enjoying a soupli, but do you have many children go on these food tours?
it depends on which food tour.
Mm,
We have evening food tours. They're very focused on wine, and those are not even like
it's not really
fun for
suitable.
children.
Yeah.
The one that have markets included or street food, they're very funny for kids. So yes, I mean, it depends also if kids are interested in food, but what our guides are doing is also um, season the food with stories. So if kids are interested in history, also they can connect their visit at the Colosseum with some stories in the food tour, and everything makes sense. For
Mm,
example,
yeah, and we or you always usually end on something sweet, which they usually enjoy too, right?
yes, yes, gelato is there.
Gelato is there. And I remember when when you did that food tour with us, which was like an eveningy one, I believe, and we went and tried some beer, I think, and Denise managed to find my children some non-alcoholic beer, which was
Yes,
they had a
yes,
try of that, and it was yeah.
yes.
But I guess my children are quite adventurous, actually eaters, and they're very used to Italian food, so it is a little bit maybe different. But like really, it's no better way to get your kids into a different style of eating, I think, than if you go to Italy because their eyes are open anyway. So if you want to go try something new with them, it's a great idea. And I think watching other people eat and try things is there's nothing like a bit of peer pressure to get kids over the line and try something new, I think.
Definitely. And there's always some pasta and pizza
Always.
somewhere. So, I mean, no, not in all food tours, of course. And maybe the Venetian food tours have more fish, so that can be complicated with kids sometimes. But especially in Rome, we do have sometimes at a certain point some pizza or pasta, and kids love pizza and pasta. So, yes, and
Mm.
gelato. Yeah,
Okay. Now, Mary had a question. She's coming in
sure.
there. And she said she wanted to know what we recommend doing as an activity after the food tours. Will you be totally full up to your eyeballs, or should you eat after the tour? I know what I do, but I'd like to hear what you think.
So, food tours, even though the single tastings are not the regular size, otherwise that you couldn't afford the old food tour. So, we make agreement with the vendors to make you taste more things in smaller sizes, but at the end you're full. It's covering a full meal. So after a food tour, you are full. What can you do afterwards? So I've been following many food tours. I've been leading them and following them. And if the guides are can create a great bonding experience, most of the time, you can go out after the tour with your new friends you made during the food tour. So a lot of time they got an after drink. So you make friends. That's
Yeah.
that's for me the best thing about food tour.
Yeah, I agree. And also, if you're a solo traveler, this is a really great way. Like, instead of like maybe if you're not as comfortable or going out for dinner on your own, or you've been out for dinner on your own a few nights in a row and you're thinking, oh, I really would like some company, this is an amazing way to meet
Yes.
people and connect and maybe go out for a drink afterwards. And I like to go for a passeggiata, so like a little walk. And I know a lot of your tours end in Trastevere, so you can actually go. There's so many things to do there. You can go and walk on the Ponte Sisto in Rome, and there's usually some music, some buskers, and there's such a great vibe in the area. Just like it's so much fun.
Yeah, yeah, you're not left in the middle of nowhere. But the best feedback I get is that one that people go out for an after drink. So,
Yeah.
and they become friends.
Yeah, I love this. Well, I mean, if you go to Italy and you're eating, then that's definitely the way to go, right? You are going to make friends and
You're sharing the table with someone is such an
Mhm.
important and deep experience. Like usually you share with your family, with your very close friends. So once you're sharing a table 3 hours with other people, it is a bonding experience.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh, well, Denyse, I was just wondering if we had any other questions coming in there. I know
Sure.
people are coming and going. We just had a few extra people join. Welcome, benvenuti. We're talking about food tours in Italy. So if anyone has a question or they just want to say hi, really drop your comments in the link below, and we're here to say hi to you all. But yeah, I think if you are really interested in doing a food tour, in Italy. I have done several. I've done a lot of food tours. Actually, it's a little bit embarrassing how many food tours I've done. So, um, but I do recommend going with Devour because I know Denyse has been very instrumental in creating a lot of these food tours, if not all of them. And she has got such a passion for food and also the culture of her country, Italy. So it's it's an absolute pleasure to go and discover the cities through food because even if you don't really get into history, I'm a big history nerd, but some people, like it's not their thing, they'd rather focus on the food. Even when you go on a food tour, you're still getting that culture and history and seeing the city in a different way than you would if you were just wandering around on your own.
Definitely. It's a lighter way to soak the history of a town and
Yeah.
eat.
And
So,
drink. Have a few glasses of
enjoy.
wine.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, Denyse, can you let everyone know how they can get in contact with Devour and check out the food tours?
Yes. So you can check our food tours on our website, thewower.com. We are on social media where we share a lot of little tips and tricks, and you get an insight of our food tours. So is the Devour Tours on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook, and we're pretty active on social media. So you can really get the mood and the feel of what the Devour is. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. We have one more question if you have time.
sure.
So we wanted to know, Mary wanted to know how you find your tour guides for the food tours because she's always had such
Mm.
lovely leaders when she goes on the tours.
So it's a very unique profile. So it should be in a halfway between a guy that has a passion for history, but not too much. Some of our guides had yes, because it's not about that. It's about a lot
Yeah.
of other things. Some of our guides are former chefs that decided to leave that lifestyle that is very hard. So they have a lot of knowledge about of course, the food, and they can tell you all the techniques of how you make this and that. So they're very like food nerd, if we can say that. There are a lot of different profiles, and we can have just people that have this strong passion for food because they grew up in a family where every little single moment of their day was filled up with food of nonna and mama. So we go through a process of interview. We talk about food during the interview a lot. We ask them questions, a lot of questions, and we think that 50%, if not more, of the success of a food tour is about the guide
Mm.
that takes you around, the storytelling, the knowledge. Um, and every food tour can be different with a different guide because they have a different story.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, every time I learn something new, and it's an absolute pleasure to go there. And another really good reason to go on a food tour, I think, is if you don't like getting organized to book restaurants and things like that, it can be a bit daunting. So if you book into a food tour, everything's done for you. Your dinner, your dessert. Done.
Yes.
And you also will usually
Mm-mm.
get tips. Mhm.
Yeah, also the restaurant experience sometimes in Rome can be overwhelming because we already said that you have access of information about how to eat in Rome, etc., everywhere now. It is
Mm.
true. So theoretically, you go with your list, you got on social media or in AI, and you know what to do.
Yep.
But at the same time, there's the filter of real life. You're sitting on a restaurant, you have this menu with a lot of options, and you might have the feeling of I'm missing out something. Maybe I'm
Mm.
not getting the right thing in that place that is
Yep.
famous for this or that. So we pre-made the selection for you to make sure you're getting the best of every single place.
Yep.
And the reservations are done. So basically, just have to go, enjoy, drink, and eat, and have fun.
Yeah, amazing. Well, Denise, thank you so much for joining us today. And I know you're in Sicily, so it's probably nearly beach time. So back to the
No, it's
beaches.
9:30, so it's gonna be this afternoon. But yes,
Okay, well, I hope you have some nice arancini today or some caponata.
granita with brioche.
Oh, granita with brioche. Goodness me. So good. I wish I was there with you. Thank you, Denise. Thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.